Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, where we discuss all things City of Miami. I am your host, Christine King, Chairwoman of the City of Miami Commission and Commissioner for District 5, the most vibrant, culturally sound district in the City of Miami. Today, I am honored to have as my guest Cathy Leff, who is the Executive Director of the Bakehouse Art Complex. Join me in welcoming her. Hey, Cathy.
Hey, thank you so much, Madam Chair, and so great to be with you. And you've been such a vital part of our organization. It's great to be here.
I am so excited to talk about what's going on in the Bakehouse Art Complex. And for my viewers and listeners, I was once a board member of the Bakehouse Art Complex, and they have honored me by making me board member emeritus, and I am heavily invested in the projects that they have coming forward because I worked with them in trying to see the vision of the Bakehouse Art Complex move forward as they continue to support artists and provide spaces for artists, and what's coming down the pike is going to be game-changing for not only the Bakehouse Art Complex, but for the art community in general. Cathy, can you share with us this vision for the reimagining of the Bakehouse Art Complex?
Yeah, no, I'm really thrilled to do it, and I'm especially happy to do it with you because you've been such a big part of it and such a big impetus to it. Because as you remember, in 2018, when you joined our board, and it was the same time that I joined Bakehouse, Bakehouse was, it's about to celebrate its 40th anniversary this year, and the building will be 100 years next year. And it was going through a struggling time. Real estate costs were going up. Artists were having a difficult time sustaining a practice and being able to pay rent. And so we've really all together, our board at the time, with the community, District 5, all the stakeholders, really got together, and we really tried to think about not only how could Bakehouse survive and really add more value to the district and to the city, but also what could it do to really help elevate, and how could we all win together in this community. And I think that's always been part of what you've tried to do as chairwoman and district commissioner, is really elevate the city in so many ways and not just any one individual organization. So right now, where we, as you saw last week, we finished up a master plan. We own Bakehouse Art Complex. It's a charitable nonprofit. It owns 2.5 acres. It was made possible in the 1980s by an investment of the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County through its Community Development Block Grant Program, and it served as a working and permanent home to artists for almost 40 years. But as the city's changed and as talent has changed, and we've really matured as a city, the cultural community's matured, and as the needs of the communities have also changed and grown, we've tried to plan for how do we remain relevant, not only to the future of art making and creativity, but to our own neighborhood and to the bigger city at large.
And Cathy didn't mention that Bakehouse is situated in the Wynwood neighborhood, which is the heart of our art cultural scene in the city of Miami. There are so many beautiful things happening in Wynwood. You have the Wynwood walls, and you also did not mention that the Bakehouse was actually a bakery.
That's right. We actually were one of 4 light industrial businesses that were in the area of what we call the Greater Wynwood. Wynwood Norte was the residential community, and the Wynwood Art District was a thriving garment and manufacturing of garment industry. And so there was the garment industry, the industrial bakery, which opened in 1926 and closed in 78. There was a coffee bean roasting plant and a Coca-Cola bottling plant. So you could say that we've tried to celebrate the DNA of the neighborhood and our city and our area by thinking of ourselves not only about celebrating creativity and art, but going from one type of production, light industrial production and the making of bread, to the making of cultural production.
And it is beautiful. The artists who are there at the Bakehouse, who have studios at the Bakehouse Art Complex. They are doing some amazing work. I have some of the art from there. You even have artists who've won prizes with their work, have won, how do you call it? Because I'm not going to get it right, where they are able to go to like Paris.
Right, fellowships. Yeah, residencies.
Fellowships, residencies. So what's coming out of Bakehouse Art Complex is just amazing.
Yeah, I think it's so exciting. And again, I want to thank you again because you've really, I mean, the reason we're standing now is to the critical support that you provided through an ARPA grant that's allowed us to restore our envelope of the building, which was threatening the building. But the artists, I mean, what we found over the past 8 years, all of us working together and thinking about what could Miami do to help sustain, nurture, develop, and retain its talent. And I mean, there's so much talent here, not just at Bakehouse, but all over the city. But in our little corner of the city, I mean, we provide working spaces to 100 artists, and we realize that providing a studio or a place to work is insufficient now. I mean, people really need a place to live and a place to work, because artists usually take many years till they can sustain a practice, if they even get there.
If they even get there, because you have a beautiful mural on the wall from Purvis Young.
That's right.
And his artwork is celebrated today, but it wasn't celebrated during his lifetime. Not like the recognition that he's receiving now. But he's a fantastic, fantastic artist. And his work now is seen all over the world.
That's right.
And
he hails from Overtown, Liberty City, and
right.
the city of Miami.
Yes, and we've named a street after him. We honor him, but it would have been great for him to see the fruits of his labor in his lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's where what Bakehouse is trying to do now by not only providing studio space to be creative, but also offering affordable housing now for our artists so that they can continue to be creative and not worry about having a roof over their head. And anything, I promise you, anything that comes out of the Bakehouse Art Complex is going to be beautiful. And therefore, it's not just about housing. It's going to be a space that the community can share. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, I mean, we envisioned, again, we all together did a community vision plan in 2018 to 2020. Then Commissioner Hardiman was very supportive of the vision for the community. I mean, you were on our board and really helped drive how do we really connect to the community and the importance of...
He is also a creative.
Yeah. And so we also wanted to make sure that it really came out of and responded to the community. So, I mean, basically we're hoping that our project will be situated in a very large green-like park, that it'll be open for passive and creative programming for all neighbors, both within the Wynwood area and beyond, that we provide connectivity to the west towards Allapattah, to other creative neighborhoods, to Midtown, to the Design District, to the Wynwood Art District. It'll be anchored by artist housing and artist workspaces. We're hoping to have additional spaces for successful artists who don't need to be subsidized, or because a peer community to an artist or any type of peer community is very important to, really help elevate talent. So it's a combination of public spaces, community spaces. We've listened to the neighborhood. We want to have like a daycare and after-school care program there where artists work with caretakers for both, when artists have children, all of a sudden they have to stop working. So we want to be able to have that type of program, not only for the neighbors, but also for our artists.
And we're going to partner with, prayerfully, we're going to partner with Miami-Dade County and revamp some very old public housing. It's not a lot of public housing. It's only how many units?
Well, right now there's 22 units.
But we're going to revamp that, offer space while they are renovating in our section, and then the public housing section will have this new, beautiful, modern space to provide housing to those who are in need of public housing. And I think that is amazing because a lot of the public housing has not had any love or attention, some almost since it was developed years and years and years, 60 years ago or more. And that partnership alone, the county and the city working together to make this happen, is a testament to, I think, electeds getting it right.
Yeah.
It's not about us or our egos. It's about the community and how we can elevate collectively our community.
Yeah, I think it's really about good public policy, and you certainly demonstrated that and inspired us. I mean, I think that everything that we have done has been from taking your lead from the time that you were, back working with the Martin Luther King Economic Development Corporation and understanding how you penetrate a community and how you really understand community needs, and that we couldn't just look out for, what artists need and how do it's what people need and what a community needs. So I'm really excited about the future of Bakehouse. I think our artists are excited. I think the neighbors and community think that we've gotten it right because we've listened to everybody and we've taken our time in doing this, and the possibility of potentially partnering with the city and the county to create a much bigger vision and some really model project that everybody will not only be so excited to be part of, but also so excited to see as a model potentially for other cities.
The thing that I find challenging now as I'm working on other affordable housing projects is that they need so much government assistance and to make it work. To really achieve what we're trying to achieve, the government has to pour into, and some folks don't think that's a good investment, but I do. I understand that we have to invest in our community. We have to invest in our families, because everything is just upside down these days. The rent cost, I was listening to a developer, the rent cost for a studio in Miami is like $2,500 for a studio. The 1 and 2 and 3 bedroom apartments at market rate is unaffordable for families who are earning a decent living. And I want to break the stereotype of people feeling like the government shouldn't give to these projects. Oh, the developers are just going to make, tons and tons of profit, and that's just not true these days.
That's right. It's not true.
It's just not true. And, through communicating and educating the community, we can get there and break that narrative, because it's important, because the families that we are going to serve in this space, not just the families that will live in the housing, but the school across the street, the children will benefit from this space in art lessons and mentorships, and the seniors will benefit. And just if you want to take a day and spend a tranquil moment journaling, this is the space for you.
Right. Yeah, I'm really excited because I think it feels like there's space for everybody. There's space for everybody to come there on their own terms. And our artists are really, they love our community. I mean, we've been neighbors. We've been in the community for 40 years, so we're not new to the neighborhood. In fact, we're one of the oldest residents in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so we're not like working around the neighborhood, but working with and from the neighborhood. So I think this has been such an exciting opportunity, because it's like getting an organization to its next level of maturity and relevance, and not only serving the need of artists and neighbors in the community and the city, but also so many different publics, and serving as a really good example of, urban development. And it's also, in these times, I mean, Miami has very successfully urbanized. And I mean, there's so many great stories to Miami's success. But there's also consequences, and it's not just the consequence of housing, and affordability isn't just something that we suffer in this city, but every major city that is urbanized has had some of that backlash. So I think, one, trying to use as a not-for-profit, we were lucky enough that we were able to acquire 40 years ago a 2.5-acre site We're lucky enough to have your support and working with the county, and the county expressing interest to potentially do something in partnership with all of us, and to really maximize the impact that this will have on everybody. And it's probably one of the first times, at least here in Miami, where artists have, generally have gone into an area of the city, created value, and then the real estate costs went up, they were pushed out, and they had less space.
Right.
And in this case, we're actually going to be able to expand the imprint, expand the amount of space dedicated to art making and to artists and creativity, but also in service of community.
I love that. I really do. Tell us a little bit about some of the artists that are in-house at Bakehouse. The kind of art that they create, because it's so diverse.
It is so diverse, and it's like every day there. It's like, what's amazing to me is, one, I definitely notice, having been there 7 years, that having a stable studio and not having to worry about, are you going to be kicked out or lose your space? We do hold the artists accountable. They have to be on a path. We are a charity. We raise money to do what we do. So there are expectations of the artists, and they're not just there just to hang out and have a good time. They really have to have a path for themselves. And so we have 4 artists now who will be participating in the Florida Prize. It's a big annual Florida Prize of artists who are selected from around the state as being among the best artists. And they'll open at the museum of the Orlando Art Museum at the end of this month.
Oh, wonderful.
And so there's somebody like Troy Simmons who will be in that show, and he is originally trained as an environmental scientist, as an architect, and now he's doing both these beautiful architectural, sculptural works, as well as doing things that are integrated into buildings. He's doing a lot of public artwork. Cornelius Tulla, who also trained as an architect, hails from the Caribbean and Jamaica and went to Cornell School of Architecture, wound up coming to Bakehouse as an assistant of Morel Doucet, a ceramic artist, and an artist who came from Haiti. And now Cornelius is one of these prize winners. He's doing both painting, installation, photography, printmaking. So what's really great is there's 100 artists there. They learn from each other and they teach each other. Some of them are fabricating things for each other. So we really look not only to support artists, but how do we really build an economy in which artists can survive? How do we hire neighbors when they can do work that we need for Bakehouse and really add to the economy of our local community? And then we have Lauren Shapiro, who's a ceramic artist. 7 years ago, she was making tiny little objects in her studio. And 2 weeks ago, she inaugurated at MSC Cruise Line a very large-scale public art.
Wow.
So she's really, the artists are scaling up. And
I was hoping that she would give ceramic lessons, because I really want to do some.
You should come. Gerby is one of our ceramic artists, and she's fabulous. She does give lessons.
Because I have.
But she's a master, Gerby.
I want to do a set of mugs with love on them in all different languages. Love, amor.
Well, let's set a date.
That's what I want to do. I am a creative. I'm a photographic artist, as well as a literary artist in my spare time, which is not, I don't have a lot of spare time. And I've also taken up crocheting. And yesterday, it occurred to me, because I hear people saying it, but it never clicked, because I just started in November, that I am creating a fabric with these pieces that I make. I'm trying to make now, my next project is a mohair sweater.
Wow.
And it's working with the
So is that crochet or knitting?
It's crocheting. Working with the mohair, last night I realized I'm creating a fabric. And this fabric is going to turn into, prayerfully, a sweater. Prayerfully.
But I remember the photographs that you took, and then you had them printed on different things, and those were really fantastic. Yes. And I think that's why, your interest in art and your own creativity has really, that you've really connected with us and really helped us see the potential. Yes. Because, you can do art as something that you just love, or you can do art as a way of creating connectivity, the metaphors of networks and fabric and tying things together, and how it allows your mind to think creatively about solving other problems that you're having to deal with in the city,
or
right?
you can create art to keep your sanity.
And to keep your sanity.
Which is probably why I do it, because it does. It reduces anxiety for
Yeah.
me when I'm being creative. In addition to filling me with, it must have something to do with dopamine, because I'm happy when I'm creating. I'm happy.
Yeah, and
And
there is science behind that about art being really good for health. In fact, in Boston, I mean, one of the hospitals in Boston, or maybe it's a Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, because some of the original research around art therapy and helping people heal, started in Boston at the Dana-Farber, and it was continued down here at the Baptist Hospital Health System. They have at the Cancer Institute, they do a lot of art therapy. In fact, some of our artists work there, and that's their job, is to work with patients.
Wow.
But there are now actually spaces that are prescribing art, to look at art and to make art as a way of healing, as a way of dealing with anxiety, stress, and just
it
for,
absolutely works.
Yeah.
It absolutely works. And I say it all the time. Art is what balances us. Art makes our world, which sometimes is not as pretty with all the things that are happening, the reality of our world, art colors that for
Yeah.
us. Art gives us hope
Right.
that there will be something beautiful in the future, where you see wars and children don't have enough to eat, and all of that can really weigh on you.
Yeah.
And then you see a beautiful piece of art, and it brings you back, it snatches you back from that terrible reality. And then in my case, I dig in and I want to cobble up resources to help families and do this and that, but it's the stuff that I do outside of the office that energizes me to move forward as a public servant.
Yeah, because we can't give up.
No,
You
we
can't give up.
That's
We
not an
can't give up,
option.
and I think that's not an option. And I think, like you said, that being able to step back and see something through a different lens, it really helps you deal with the tougher things that you have to deal with.
So what is happening? We have this fantastic art scene, and we have Art Basel. What's happening for that? I know you guys are in the midst of.
Well, what we're going to be offering during the next season, since it's our 40th anniversary season, and it's also the 100th anniversary of our building. It started there in 1926. I mean, there are a lot of, I think, was that the same year maybe the city was incorporated?
No.
25, 24, somewhere around there. Maybe later. All right, I don't remember the year.
The city, 128 years.
Oh,
It's been
wow.
128 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm the first woman to chair the City of Miami Commission in its 128-year history.
Okay, so I didn't realize it was that old. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, anyway,
128.
we're really excited that what we're going to be doing is, celebrating these pivotal anniversaries. So we recently got a grant from a small organization, the Villagers in Coral Gables, to begin to archive our Bakehouse history.
Oh.
And we have found the first invitations, all the invitations, the opening, the press. So we're going to be doing an anniversary. We're doing an anniversary exhibition called Bakehouse, past, present, and future. So the past will draw on the archives of the original bakery, as well as up through Bakehouse. The present
I'm going to
will...
love to see
It's going to be so much fun. And then there's going to be a section called Present, which will be drawn from the community of our existing artists. And then the future will focus on our building plans so that we can really show the public throughout the building of what we're hoping to achieve over the next couple of years.
That is going to be beautiful. Where can my listeners and viewers get more information on the Bakehouse Art Complex?
Well, they can go to bacfl.org. They can follow us on Instagram at Bakehouse Art Complex. We're open to the public every day, 7 days a week, free, noon to 5. If the artists are there, you're welcome to visit their studios. They love having visitors. We try to have some exhibition or works on display. I mean, we're not a museum, but we really try to provide opportunities for our artists to put themselves out there. So there's always something going on, and if it's quiet, one of the staff will get up and show people around. But we really invite your listeners and anybody who hasn't been there to please come by 4 times a year. And during Art Week will be one of them. We have open studios where the 100 artists who work at a bakehouse will be there in the space, the fabrication spaces, and or in their studios, and welcome visitors, and they love talking to people and meeting people. So there's plenty of public programs, and again, we offer everything free to the public, and
there is a little box for a donation, though, right?
Yeah.
Just a little box.
There's a little and a big box.
Okay.
But again, it's just coming up and showing up is lending support.
Yes.
And everybody just talking about us and letting people know that if you liked what you saw there, that this is an exciting space. So really, it's funny that even after 40 years, I mean, we're still trying to get the word out and build up this movement of people who really support the importance of, retaining, developing our talent in our city. And so we need all the cheerleaders that we can get.
Well, we've come to the segment in my podcast where I ask you a series of questions.
Oh, okay.
Just answer them. It's supposed to be like a rapid fire. If you had an opportunity to have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you want to break bread with and why?
Oh, my God. I knew you'd be tough. Let's see.
Not tough.
Oh, my God. Who would I want to have dinner with? I have to think of somebody who... it's like maybe John Lennon.
John Lennon? Why?
I don't know. I mean, just one. I mean, I think in sort of my own music history. I mean, there's probably a zillion people, but one, he was such a poet and such a big thinker and a really important artist. And yeah, I would love to be inside his mind and know what he was thinking when he wrote all those things. But I'm sure there are like so many more amazing people. I don't even know why I said that.
I love his song Imagine.
Yeah, and maybe it is all about imagining and just his interesting relationships, and it's sort of. It's I think because I grew up in the 60s and 70s and it was sort of that era, so it would really be fun to talk to somebody who's really spoke to me in a certain way. But again, there's so many amazing people that I almost embarrassed I said that.
Do you have a favorite book?
Do I have a favorite book? Let's see. I'm trying to think of what I've read recently. I mean, I like to read so many different things. I read memoirs. I like to read. I mean, I read less of poetry than I do memoirs, fiction, and nonfiction. I like lots of, books on business and stuff like that. But I have like a very eclectic taste in my literary interests and in my musical interests.
Me too.
I mean, I don't really have.
What are you reading now?
What am I reading now? I mean, right now, Let's see. I mean, I've been reading books on Japan. I'm off to take a trip in Japan, and I've been reading a book on Japanese gardens. So it's called The Gardens of Kyoto.
Oh, okay. Do you have a favorite song? You just said how much music influenced
well, yeah,
you.
I mean, but that isn't my favorite song. My favorite song is, one of them is, let's see, oh my God, I have so many favorite songs, but I'm thinking of, he's from New Orleans. It's Tell It Like It Is, and what is his name? His three brothers, the Neville brothers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it was one of the Neville brothers.
Okay.
And I love that. I also love Nina Simone. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember the famous song of hers that I really love. But I love music. I love any kind of music. I like very experimental. I like classical. I like hip hop.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like all genres.
Yeah, I think
music.
my too ADD to have one particular focus on anything.
Well, if you could give your younger self advice, young Cathy getting out of high school,
right.
Cathy in college, what would you say to her?
I would have said be more patient. Slow down. I move too fast.
I hear that a lot from my guests. Trust the process.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know you love to travel.
I do.
Because you're my friend. So I know you love to travel. What would you consider a big adventure? Like, what would be your dream adventure?
Yeah. So I think, there's so many things that I've done that have been like bucket list things. And I really, as I get older, I really try to do those things. So, a couple of years ago, I went hiking in Patagonia in Chile and also up to the mountain, up to the desert the altitudes, Machu Picchu and stuff like that. I mean, I'm off now for a week to go to Japan, which is one of my favorite countries. I'm dying to go to India.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I like things that are very exotic, that put me in a place that I feel uncomfortable, like it really feels. I mean, there's so many places now that feel so familiar with globalization. I mean, there's so many places that we can go to that, I mean, yes, the language and the culture are so different. I don't want to say that every place is the same, but we have a certain amount of comfort. But I really
like a McDonald's.
Yeah, I like to.
Although I don't eat McDonald's.
Yeah, me neither. But I think India is one of the top places I want to go to. It has such a rich culture. I like places that have really deep histories and are equally contemporary. That they're not fixed in time, and yet there is so, and that is so, there's so many things to learn.
I want to go to India because my grandfather was East Indian. So I want to go to that region where my grandmother was Arawak Indian. I was born in Guyana, but my grandfather is East Indian, and I would love to go to India from the region where his family comes from someday.
Yeah. I think it's really great to be able to go back and sort of get an understanding of the culture from which where one came. And yeah, because there's something about connecting to your DNA and to
we're going to have to do that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We have come to the end of this podcast.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Cathy, for being my guest. It has been a wonderful, wonderful chat with you today. And thank you, my listeners and my viewers, for joining me on another episode of the Kingdom Podcast, where we discuss all things the city of Miami and all voices are heard. See you next time.